Hey there, I'm Patrick Franco, and today we're going to look at Adho Mukha Svanasana, which you know as downward facing dog pose. This is a full body stretch. It lengthens almost every single part of the body, as well as strengthening a number of very key components. This is a pose that in a vinyasa yoga class is the home base. You're going to start almost all your flows, all your sequences, all the categories of poses from downward facing dog. In other settings, you might just use downward facing dog as a pose that you're going to use to lengthen the spine, a pose that to introduce some weight bearing on the hands. Either way, it is a central pose in almost all yoga practices. Specifically, downward facing dog stretches the backs of the legs, the hamstrings and the calves, as well as stretching the entirety of the spine. Specifically, it strengthens the fronts of the legs, the quadriceps, the hip flexors, because they're used to engage the muscles of the legs to pull back, as well as the abdominal muscles, the muscles that are postural for the spine, and the shoulders and arms, because we need those as well to help extend and lengthen the spine. So let's go ahead and take a look at downward facing dog now. We're going to start on our hands and our knees. So getting into downward facing dog is one of the key components. Once you start on your hands and knees, this is not the position to move into downward facing dog from. You need to move your hands forward of your shoulders. So there is a little bit of an angle from your shoulders to your wrists. And then you need to move your knees back from your hips. So there's a little bit of an angle from your knees to your hips. Once you're here, you spread the palms fully from your thumb to your pinky finger. And then you're going to curl the toes under behind the knees. Now you have to lift the knees, lift the hips. Once you do that, you redo the arms. So the arms go from out to in, the triceps firm, the eyes of the elbows lift. You continue to press your palms down and lift your spine away, your buttocks away from your hands pressing down. The more you lift your buttocks bones up, the more the lengthening can happen in the backs of the legs. At the same time the arms are extending, the spine is extending, the head is relaxing. Now I haven't talked about the legs yet. They are so important. So I'm lifting all the muscles from above my ankles to my knees, so my shin muscles, as well as above my knees to my hip creases, my quadriceps. And when that's happening, I can use my legs to assist my arms in stretching my spine. Now the heels may or may not come down. What's most important at first is the lengthening of the spine. And then if the heels do come down, well, that's secondary in nature. All right, so downward facing dog, full body lengthening, full body strengthening pose. But there is a lot of common mistakes that we'll see in this pose. And one of the things that it often starts with is the starting point, meaning the space between the hands and the feet are often too narrow, because students think they immediately need to get the heels down. And if you bring the heels down too soon, you're going to shorten your spine and not get the length that is really necessary and important in downward facing dog. So that might look something like this. Starting on the hands and the knees. And if you remember, we walk the hands forward and the knees back. But if we don't, and we move to down dog right from here, and if I think that I need to get my heels down, well, look, I'm going to bring my heels down, but my spine cannot get the same amount of length that it would or that is required in downward facing dog if my hamstrings aren't quite ready for my heels to be down. And so in this pose, there's not spaciousness, there's not freedom, there's not length in the spine, which is so important for downward facing dog. Yes, I'm getting a deep stretch in my calves and my ankles and my hamstrings, but at the expense of length in my spine. So this is the most common mistake that you're gonna see in downward facing dog. And if you get the proper distance between your hand and your feet to start with, pretty much everything else can open up from there. So let's take a look at it one more time. You start on your hands and knees. The hands go forward of the shoulders. The knees go back of the hips. Curl the toes under. Full extension of the arms. The buttocks lift away from the hands as my arms continue to extend. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, a great option is to widen the feet as wide as the mat, as well as widen the hands if your shoulders and back are tight. From here, now I just have more space to lift my hips and to straighten my legs and to, most importantly, allow my spine to receive that length. Over time, my heels might gradually come down, but the length of my spine is continually maintained. All right, there you have it. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, a great full body pose that you're going to use many, many times in your yoga practice. We'll see you on the mat next time.